NFC North today and two teams that have high expectations for 2024. And we start with the Detroit Lions coming off a fantastic season last year. There is Jared Goff. They were 12-5. They were first in the NFC North. They lost after having a huge lead in the playoffs to the 49ers. Off-season storylines, there really isn't any. They took care of business. They signed Amon-Ra St. Brown. They are set to go. The number at DraftKings is 10.5 juice to the over. Raphael, I'm coming to you first. Are we going over or under with the Lions this year?
But I'm going opposite probably with everyone else in this panel because I'm going under 10.5 plus 110. Not because I think the Lions are not going to make the playoffs, but this is a great middle spot towards the end of the season. Now, don't forget, their first 4 games, easy. They can easily start the season 4-0, but the schedule gets rough. They don't play their first division game, I think, till week 7 when they go to Minnesota, which I think the Vikings will probably have their quarterback situation much better by that time. After that, their schedule is brutal towards the end. So I'm just thinking of a middle spot. I just think they'll probably go 10 wins, maybe go 10-7 wild card spot. I'm just not completely sold on the Detroit Lions this year. I think they make a small step backwards. And again, they're still the Detroit Lions in my eyes.
Wow. Taking a dig at the up-and-coming Detroit Lions. I always say they can't get past their head coach because he's a terrible in-game manager. But that's just me. DG, coming to you. We're going over, under, Lions.
Yeah, I'm going to go over the 10.5. It's simple here. I know Raphael said the 4-0 start, but let's look at the first 7. They could possibly start 6-1. And really the only one I was kind of worried about is maybe the Cowboys there. Honestly, the Cowboys could be terrible at that point in week 5. I have to go the Lions over here at especially the 10.5. I think they easily get to 11. I think they could easily get up to 12 as well. I think they're going to be very, very good this year.
I agree with you. I'm all in on the Lions. Soupy, we got one over. We've got one under. What say you?
I'm going with the over because they have the best offensive line in the league. We're returning 4 starters, top 5 in sack rate. Jared Goff only scrambled 7 times last year. That is how good they are. And of course, they have 2 of the best offensive position players, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta. My God, he's going to be even better this year. And I love the Jamari Gibbs, David Montgomery in the backfield. That tandem is going to be great again. The only concern I have is the defensive line. You have Aiden Hutchinson, who is one of the best pass rushers in the league, but there is nobody else on that defensive line. They made some improvements in the secondary. They got Carlton Davis. They traded for Carlton Davis. He's going to be great in that defensive scheme. They play a lot of man coverage. He is a great man coverage cornerback. So I think they'll be better in the secondary, but I think that offensive is going to lead them again. That's why I think they get over 10 wins.
Look at my man Snoopy doing some homework on the Lions overnight. Very, very impressive. TJ says, I'm very interested to see if Dan Campbell will change what went down in the playoffs. He might be the only person. And if you watch The Receivers on Netflix, an amazing show, by the way, I encourage you to check it out. He won't even admit it there. And everybody on the Lions squad, the parents, the players, they all openly question him and how he does his in-game managing. Just stupid. Take the playoffs. Take the points in the playoffs. Charles, coming to you. Over, under.
I'm going Raphael as well. I'm going under. I could see a 10-7 team here. I could see they got the Texans, 49ers, Bills, Packers twice. The Jags could be tricky. The Cowboys could be tricky as well. So I could definitely see 7 losses on the schedule. They're not going to sneak up on anyone this season. So I think they're right around the 10-7 team, make the playoffs. Still a good team, but I think 10-7 is about right for the Lions.
All right. By the way, Charles, did you bury the lead today? Is today your birthday?
Don't remind me.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, can we please put, just like Gathon did in the chat, happy birthday to our man from the Dirty Dirty. Let him know how much you love him here on DTL. Nice. Mine is Monday. My birthday's Monday, so we're very, very
Leos.
Leos.
Yeah, JJ's was last week. A lot of Leos here. All right. We always pick a prop, a futures prop. And AB gave you great advice yesterday on opening a separate account and putting your futures in there and then never looking at it for the next 4 months because it'll just drive you crazy. So, Raphael, come over to you. What's your prop for the Lions today?
On a piggyback what AB said, yes, that's a great idea. Put your prop bets or all your future bets in one separate account. But at the same time, you do need to look at them so you can middle. You can maybe get a 6-point middle or maybe a 50-cent plus middle on this. Always look at what your futures look like week after week after week. That's why I like the Lions divisions under 3.5 division wins. I don't think they're going to go that well. Like I said, I'm a little step backwards. I know everyone's high on the Lions this year. Everyone in the media high on the Lions, but everyone else in the league is probably high on it. That's why I think they're going to be one of those spots where everyone can't wait to play for them, especially in the division. Packers better. Minnesota will probably get better towards the season. The Bears are going to be better. It's going to be a tough division. That's why I like them under division wins at 3.5.
Digging deep, kind of going within the schedule a little bit. So many different ways at all these sports books that you can play a futures bet. I like that one for Raphael, not so much for myself. So DG, Raphael, he's like on an NFL island through these first 3 days. It's a Raphael that I don't know. Where are you going?
Yeah, so as Amon-Ra St. Brown is the number one option for the Lions, we know that AB is the number one option here. But if you're looking for a good number two, Sam Laporta can be that guy, especially in the red zone. Tried and true. He was a rookie last year, now coming up. Somebody that you can kind of go to in the clutch. And so I'm going to go with Sam Laporta over 7.5 receiving touchdowns at plus 110. He had 10 last season, so I expect him to even be better. But Coach, I ask you, I can be your Sam Laporta.
Don't ever say that again. By the way, last year in our evening show at a different place, Sam Laporta was a healthy pick every single week for the first touchdown of the game. And I would assume that this year, with more comfortability, it's hard to say, that he'll be more of a target inside the red zone. What just happened? Soupy, you are having such a good day. What just happened?
It had to happen that way. You know it had to happen that way. And it's my stand. It's not working.
I'm taking away that 10.
Oh my
He's
God.
a 4.
9.6.
I knew that was going to happen.
4. You went from 6 to a 4 to a 2 right before. That actually scared me a little bit. I'll be honest with you.
I thought he fell.
Yeah, I did too. I did too. Oh my God. Oh, Japan said Soupy pulled a buckets into oh you know. All right, Soupy. Where are you going today?
Not only did my stand just break, but now I have to agree with DG. I think I'm just going to log off because I love Sam Laporta. He is one of my favorite tight ends. Fantasy advice, take him when you can. He was fourth in red zone targets amongst tight ends last year. He's definitely going to be Jared Goff's security blanket. I also have him at over 7.5 touchdowns this year.
I'm sorry. Robbie says, down goes Soupy. Down goes Soupy. All right, Charles, get us back on track. Where are we headed?
Jahmyr Gibbs, I'm going to take him over 7.5 rushing touchdowns. He had 10 last season as well. Plus, we know the Lions, they love to run the ball near the goal line as well. And he just has a nose for the end zone as well. So, yeah, I definitely think he can get at least 8. So, Jahmyr Gibbs over 7.5 rushing touchdowns.
And this is, Charles, one of the rare teams that has 2 guys. And last year we got very frustrated because it would seem like one week we'd pick Gibbs, then the next week, like Phil says, Williams going to be that big play guy they thought he would be. Then Williams would have a big day, and then you pick Williams, and then Gibbs would have a big day. So I think bettors need to be very careful on week-to-week yardage plays with these 2 guys. Would you agree with that?
100%.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so that's the Lions. We hope we can make it through the pack.